Like I could see that we're picking up. It looks like it is. It looks like it is. So here we go.
A lot of busy to be our test guy. Test, test. Tell us how we sound, buddy.
All right. So yeah, I think we are live. We're here. Everybody's here. I could just change the lighting a little bit in the room, and I will. How's everybody doing today? We don't have our headset, so if you're out there listening, and what's up, man? You can hear us? Oh, you can hear us. Okay.
Okay,
Good
yes.
morning.
For whatever reason, we couldn't get the headsets to work, so we can make sure that our volume levels are all up and good. And we'll just say that's why we delayed today.
It is.
Other than that,
I mean,
how's
isn't it?
everybody's week going? Can you hit those light switches for me?
Absolutely.
Oh, you talking about like
There we go.
Homer minute wise?
Oh, we can do that. We can just roll right into it. I mean, home run
Awful.
wise. Huh?
Awful. Just terrible, man. Terrible. Like there was a point where I was just like the game ended up much closer than it actually the final score was much closer than the game actually was.
Mm-hmm.
There was just a lull from the 49ers at one point that allowed the Cowboys to kind of get back into it. And the crazy thing is like I don't. This is what I want to talk about. I was so frustrated at this point because it didn't look like the Cowboys wanted to get back into it. They come out, they're down 28 or 27-10, I think it was something like that at this point, and they line up in shotgun and run a draw play on 1st and 10 to Zeke.
Wow.
Then
Zeke's quick, man. You know, might catch him by surprise.
Dak throws a behind the line of scrimmage little out to Zeke that he drops on 2nd down. He might have caught it and got a yard. And then Dak throws a go route to a covered receiver on 3rd down, and we get a lucky penalty. And then from there was a couple of lucky CD plays, and but it was a horrendous effort. I just don't get it, and it kind of feels like the wheels are falling off.
Sorry, I have a little story on that. Just because I was watching that game intently, because my guillotine league, if you don't know how that works, we started off with 15 teams, and each week whoever has the lowest score gets eliminated, and all their players go into the pool, and everyone bids on those players. It's a really fun league. I can't believe how much fun I have with it, but this week I've got a stat team at this point. Like I'm looking at my team, they're like, how can I lose, right? And of course, last week I'm on the chopping block somehow. It's like, what the heck? And I paid all this money for CD, and he's doing nothing for me. And I'm like, I just need a few points from CD. You know what I mean? Going deep into the 4th quarter, and I was just so irritated and pissed off. And then he goes off for 30 points in 5 minutes, and I'm like, yes, I win.
Yeah. And he can do that. CD was awesome. But Dak looked disinterested. The defense, obviously, it looked like in the first half, they were like, okay, maybe we'll win this time. And then it's somewhere just like real quick in the second half, the 49ers just broke them again. And the game was just over. It was not fun to watch. It didn't look like a competitive football game. So, yeah, I don't know what to expect today. Zeke didn't make the trip to Atlanta. Everybody knows that, as I'm sure, because it's like getting brought up all morning long. Already this morning.
Actually, hadn't heard it yet. I guess I haven't.
He's apparently he's just been lackadaisical and missing team meetings and stuff that. And this was like the 3rd one, and so Mike McCarthy finally I mean, if it were me, and that's another thing that's an issue I have with McCarthy. It's just like, how did you not just suspend him after the first one?
Right.
How did you not just not play him after the first one?
Well, he's a superstar, bro.
Yeah, is he? That's crazy. That's crazy to me. When I heard that he's been like kind of like slacking off and he's missed multiple meetings, I was like, what is going on there? What are they even doing?
Oh, sorry, I've got some breaking news here. Wow, lots of breaking news. Holy crap. Okay.
Here we go.
Brian Robinson, hamstring, out.
Yep.
Amari Cooper, out.
Yep.
Wrist. And, oops, where's the other one? And one more big one. Shoot. And, T. Higgins. Well, we kind of knew that.
We
one
knew
too,
T. Higgins wasn't going to play. He might
But the
not.
other two are recent news. So.
We're coming up on the trade deadline, right? We have one more week after
What,
this
for
one?
NFL trade deadline?
Yeah. Is it after? It's after week 10.
I think it's on Tuesday, isn't it? Is there
it-
anything else significant going on?
I don't think there was
that's the
any-
most significant thing going on Tuesday. I
Yeah,
can think
nothing
of.
else really important going on
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
I could say things about that too. I've been reading Project 2025 because people are crying about it so bad. I'm like, okay, I have to read it. Like, what is it? What exactly does it say? And have you read any of it?
It's a conservative manifesto, and so
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
But it's not. But it's not like it shouldn't be anything that terrifies anybody. It's like the first I read. So real. I'm sorry. I read like the first 100 pages of it.
I was trying to avoid.
I was
this.
waiting. I was waiting for the bombshell, and I'm gonna keep digging to find out if it's not like buried somewhere in the middle, but I don't see it so far. I'm just like, Donald Trump's not gonna read this. This right, like the way that it reads is like
it's more the stuff that.
Yeah. Well, the way that it reads is not only Donald Trump. This should come across as like if you were a career politician or you're a successful politician, in whatever way, whether you're in Congress, you're in the Senate, or whether you're just connected to the party in a way like, an Obama, something like that. You're an influencer. And someone brought this to you and was like, you have to read this. It's really going to help you. It's going to, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to focus on. You'd be insulted. You'd find it insulting because a lot of it is like common sense stuff that you should already know if you're at that level of government.
But a lot of it is true. Yeah, there's too much to get into here. There really is. Like we're going to do a football show.
Yeah, let's talk about football. Well, I mean, everybody should vote on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
We don't know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be really close. Everybody should vote. Like nobody should stay home. I feel like I know what's going to happen too, and history kind of is on my side. So. It doesn't look good for one half.
I wrote an algorithm with AI to predict the election.
This is great. What did you?
Well, I don't want to talk about it because it's a long story. Well, suffice it to say, me and AI were going back and forth, and we're probably about 100 pages in of going back and forth, not including like looking at the actual algorithm code. We can talk about it off the mic, but
yeah, that's interesting.
Interesting. It was very interesting going back and forth with the
end of breaking news. Beep 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 beep. All right, so
to the point where I was like, where would I submit this to, like, for somebody to look at it and go, what the heck? Like, there was some weird things going on in there. Anyway, so my homer minute, I won't make it long. Rams didn't play last week,
well, they did.
They did, but we covered it was a double session, so we covered it the week prior. We did not actually pick a Rams game last week. But we are playing against the Seahawks. We need to win the divisional game because I feel like if we're going to make the playoffs, we need to have at least a divisional score there and maybe sneak in on a tie throughout the division and then have the wins in the division column. So we were talking about it, Cup back, Nakua hopefully sneaking in.
And in your division, it feels like you're right back in the mix. It's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why we got.
Yeah, Cardinals are in first place.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
We're going to play them one more time, and hopefully we'll win them too. So, yeah, there it is. There you have it. We need to give them losses so we can sneak up. That's really what it comes down to. Is our divisional games, we need to hand out losses.
Yeah. Honestly, we talked about it at the beginning of the year. We thought you had a team that could do it, and so I don't know. Your team's interesting. I'm having fun watching them.
Yeah,
I'm rooting
your
for
team's
'em.
more fun to watch than my team.
And Busy, you were right. My mic was off. That's
They
what
have
the
a
problem
plan.
was.
Like Sean McVay was just praising the D coordinator for his ability to use the strengths of the defense in order to be effective, because you guys have so many injuries and stuff going on. And I just thought of like Iron Man fighting Thanos, you know. but like we don't have that going on at all. Like we have. I feel like people are going to start getting fired in Dallas.
If they don't start winning, you're right.
It feels that way. It feels like one of those years.
And Steelers are on bye this week, so not a whole lot to talk about. We're 6-2, rolling pretty good. Yeah, like I was telling Ken, I really feel like we could have and should have been 8-0, and we might need it because we're gonna be running into the tough part of our schedule after the bye here.
The teeth, as they say.
Yeah, but we do have the bye to prepare, and like I said, we're gonna use it to get really behind Russell Wilson at this point, and solidify him as our quarterback. And I'm looking forward to good things. So feels good to be 6-2.
I bet it does.
So as we get into the games this morning, Brian snuck away the lead with his homer picks from last week. Bezzy, you also had a homer pick that none of us picked, and you ended up winning that one. So
Lone Wolf?
Did he take the Browns?
what did he take? Let me see. Going back to week 8, Bezzy was lone wolf, where he was the only one that scored. Arizona, we all picked Miami. He picked Arizona.
Well, he picked the Cardinals over the Dolphins. Wow, that's crazy.
He got it, too.
He got lucky.
That's messed up. Bezzy's a pretty good pick'em. And
There's a political science theory to that. You know, like anything that you do is that's good is because you're lucky, and anything I do, that's good is because I'm skilled.
Yes, that's honestly, that's how most brains are wired.
I forget the name of the stupid.
I like that
stupid
theory.
thing, but yeah, that's.
Anything you could do is good. So the pick'em scores is last week was 9, 10, 12, 11. 9 for me. Ken had 10. Brian had 12, and Bezzy had 11.
All my lone wolves paid
And
off.
with that,
Everybody was in double digits last week.
no, I was not.
Oh, you were 9.
Yeah, I was 9. And so Brian, that puts you at 76 over the lead of my 75.
Oh, lovely. That's a good week.
Yep. All right.
All right,
So
now I got to keep it up.
now that we've got the pick'em scores out of the way, the first game of the day we're going to be talking about
It's
is
called ultimate attribution bias.
Okay.
Sorry.
No. I was curious. The Commanders versus the Giants. Commanders -4. Over under is at. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Okay, I thought I could squeeze this screen in, but apparently I cannot. But the over under is at 44.5. -218 if you're betting on the Commanders, plus 180 if you're betting on the Giants. This is going to be played at MetLife Stadium, and the Giants lead the all-time series of 108 wins to 72 losses. So that'll probably be going up for the Commanders.
All right, useless stat of the game. Apparently, no team since 1950, when they started keeping statistics, has beaten the Giants twice in their rookie season.
What?
All right, say it again.
No quarterback has
In their rookie season.
in their rookie
beaten the
season
Giants.
beaten the
Okay.
Giants twice since 1950.
All right.
Time to break the stats.
And this is a divisional game, and the way the Giants are playing, you never know when they're truly going to show up. I think their defense is getting a little healthier. This could be a real game. I'm picking the Commanders. I love their offense. I love the way things are running. They're a surprising, fun team to watch. So yeah, I'm definitely picking the Commanders, but this is one I'm a little worried about. I think this could be one of those crazy divisional games where the Giants find a way to win it. Do you have any particular thoughts on this division? Because this is your division. What do you think?
I love our division games. They're so much fun to watch, all of them. I like the other teams playing each other more so than I enjoy I enjoy the Cowboys. I used to enjoy the Cowboys Redskins games, but the Dallas Washington games are fun to watch, but I don't really enjoy the other teams. But when they get together against each other, they have some wild games, and those three teams are all within 90 miles of each other. They're very close, something like that. It's like 90 to 200 miles or something like that. I remember it's very close. The difference between Philadelphia and New York, whatever that difference is the greatest difference.
The East Coast just feels so weird to me.
It is. It's a weird place. It's a very weird place. It feels. It's funny when you're over there. It feels like it takes forever to get places because everything's on toll roads that are like 55 miles an hour. So
It'd be fun to live 5 years out there, I think. I think I just made a new goal in my life.
Live out there for
yeah,
5
dude, let's go to
years.
Boston.
Live out there for 5 years. I don't know about Boston, but maybe a suburb on outskirts of Boston I could probably handle. And then like maybe some town in the Central California or Central States.
I want to spend 1 year like going to Fenway Park for every game. That is like my.
And you can do that in the
retirement goal.
suburbs of.
I definitely want to do it. Yeah, you can do that in the suburbs. You don't have to. You don't have to be in Boston.
Right.
Honestly, it's always been my dream just to have like a true professional sports team. I'd love for it to be football, but almost any of them that was within 40 minutes driving distance that I could just have season tickets to and just go enjoy that professional team. You know what I mean? It's something I've never had that I've always wished for. You know what I mean?
Retirement goals, man. Retirement goals.
Yeah, he has it. Like he's only, you really only like 3 hours away. It's not that bad.
No, it's not. It's not too bad, but it's still like enough for me to be like not get season tickets.
Oh man,
Yeah.
NFL season tickets are just so ridiculous now.
Looking at the screen, it looks like I'm going to lone wolf this game because I actually
You do think the Giants? Yeah, like I say, I'm scared of this
and
one.
it's not because of the silly statistic, but Jaden Daniels is a rookie. He's had his gaffes. They should have lost last week. One of the more ridiculous endings to a game that I have seen. That was just insane. But the
that
Giants
defensive player has even cut yet.
Malik Neighbors had a solid game last week. He's another week removed from the concussion. Tyrone Tracy has cleared the concussion protocol, and he's going to start even though Devin Singletary is completely healthy. So that shows you like how much they actually like this kid. Is they're like, oh, we're going to make sure that he's okay before we decide on who's going to play, because they could have shut him down real early and be like, yeah, Devin's is ready to go. We'll just let him have a week. But but he's important to their offense. And if you watched him play against your team, I mean, he had to have been that had to have impressed you a little bit. Like the kid can play. He can.
Oh
run,
yeah, Tracy. Yeah. He's got some moves.
He can break tackles. He's fast. He's like he seems to run with a little bit of patience.
Yeah, and once things settle down there, I think he'll probably be the lead back there. But I think it's still going to be a 60-40 split. You know,
It's
what I mean?
not though.
You don't think so?
It hasn't been.
Well,
and so
there's
it
been
might-
injury issues going back and
am-
forth.
I'm weary of it this week just because of him coming off of the concussion. But
Yeah.
it seems like one of those things where they just like if they're either going to let him go or they're not going to let him go. So I expect him to have 15 plus touches today and have a good game because that Commanders defense hasn't always been very good. And
It's been getting better though. It started bad and it's been getting better
right,
and
but
better
they
as the
did
season goes on.
give up a couple of chunk plays to DeAndre Swift last week, and that seems to happen. They give up points to the running back. So, if the Giants if they are able to ride Tracy like they did against the Steelers, they'll win this game.
All right. Yeah. I like the Commanders there, and of course start at McLaurin.
So next up, we got the Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills. Miami's plus 6.5. Over unders 49. Plus 230 if you're betting on the Dolphins, and minus 285 if you're betting on the Bills. Let's see. This game is played in Buffalo. 62 wins and 59 losses with one tie for the Dolphins in their series historical.
This is
matchup.
one of the best rivalries in football. Like it doesn't get talked about a whole lot, but when both of these teams are good, this is a fun rivalry. When I was growing up, it was Dan Marino versus Jim Kelly, and those were fun games. They were some of the funnest games that I can remember watching. And so Tua, is another week removed from his situation. He didn't look his best last week, and that's why they lost. But he comes back and immediately they score 27 points. So
Yes.
you can see how important he is to their offense and at all of the pieces. Look at what happened to Achane immediately. Achane becomes a top 5 running back again overnight.
Right. Yeah, it just changes and Hill and yeah, it changes everything. So
But
stay healthy, Tua. Stay healthy, buddy.
this is
I
their-
was.
this is their
sorry, real
boogeyman
quick.
right here.
Were you not surprised? Why didn't he come out with one of the freaking big old helmets? Why isn't he wearing one of
Guardian
those
helmets?
he
concussion?
thought that they looked funny.
I hope that's not true.
So, I mean, I've heard another study that's saying that they don't really help.
They don't know yet.
Yeah.
They don't know yet.
And I know that like once upon a time I took Muay Thai, right? And I know when we were talking about headgear and stuff, the data out there suggests that when you're wearing these things, you're already wearing gloves, so all they really do is create more impacts because your head's now like an inch or 2 inches now like longer, so you're getting hit more, right? So like anytime I would spar without a helmet, the amount of impacts I get to the head was significantly lower than if I had that extra inch or two on my head.
Grazings and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
So and all it takes is a graze in the neck, right? And it like your head gets jarred. Usually you get hit because you didn't see it coming, so they always freaking hurt, right? It's not like, oh, here it comes, boom. Like you never have those moments. It's always like ooh, I didn't see that one. Ooh, I didn't see that one. So whereas now they're already wearing a helmet to begin with, right? So no, all this Guardian helmet seems to be doing is creating like another layer to the hard shell, which doesn't make sense. And if you like think about it a little bit more in depth,
There's also
on the
like when they originally started mandating that players wear these hard helmets, there were people that resisted doing it because they thought that it would make players lazier in terms of protecting their own heads.
Oh, the old leather helmet theory.
Yeah. So there's different.
I get it,
There's
but
different levels to
I
it.
just, if this,
I don't like to. If that's his choice. That's his choice.
I'm just if there's any data saying that he's less likely to get a concussion in the Guardian helmet, why wouldn't he be wearing the Guardian helmet? But if the data isn't in yet, then that's
yeah. And all I'm saying is, like in the martial arts world, they're starting to see that wearing a helmet is not actually a good idea because you're already wearing padded, your padded hands and stuff. So that's just.
Right.
I didn't say it to.
You heard it here first. Don't wear the Guardian helmet.
Oh no, it's
One way or the
that's
other.
actually interesting. I figured there had to be the data out there because it's a thing. You know what I mean? I didn't realize they were just like, let's see if this works. You know, and if
They're creating the data.
Just let's see if this works. Then hey,
They're creating the data right now.
Yeah. But you need a good 3 to 5 years to figure out whether or not players are taking less damage. Like it would take so much testing, and a lot of that stuff it's difficult to create controlled situations.
Right.
You know, like there's all kinds of variables to when teams practice. I would imagine. So I think a lot of that stuff is mandated now. In terms because it really the reason I say that is not because I've read it, but because it seems like we get information about practice reports and stuff like that in a more streamlined fashion than say 15, 20 years ago. But anyway, yeah, I'm rooting for Tua. I hope he stays healthy. I hope it's just there's been a couple other players who had concussion problems at the beginning of their career and eventually just figured out how to stop getting hit. So I'm hoping he's one of those. Troy Aikman eventually retired early, but he did have concussions before he had Super Bowls, and he was able to manage most of that.
So I went Bills. Bezzy went Bills. So you guys are going Bills or Dolphins?
I am going Bills. The Bills are at home. They just have the Dolphins number. I think the number is Josh Allen's 12-2 against them or something like that. It's like Brady versus every team.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. All right. Hey, man. My fantasy teams hope you're right. I'll say that.
Now, it feels like it's going to be a really good game. It feels like a coin flip game to me, so I'll take that side of it.
All right, next up, we got the Broncos versus the Ravens. Broncos are +9. The over-under is 46.5. +330 if you're betting on the Broncos. -425 if you're betting on the Ravens. Let's see. Historically, the Ravens have the series with 10 wins to 6. Broncos 6 wins. And the last time they met was in 2021, where the Ravens secured a 23-7 victory.
And I'm sorry, who's at home here?
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
I'm gonna take the Broncos.
Are you really?
Yeah. The
God,
Ravens.
I hope you're right.
The Ravens are on a roll, but they also have lulls in every game where they let teams get back in.
You're right about
and
that.
the Broncos defense, like you can't if the Ravens take their foot off the gas against the Broncos defense, like if they get up and then they take their foot off the gas against the Broncos defense and aren't able to hold that Broncos offense, they're not going to be able to just turn it back on. Again, like this is not the Tampa Bay defense. This is not who else did they do that to? This is Dallas. The Broncos will, if they figure out something about your offense and they figure out how to stop you and get some momentum and get some confidence against you, like you're done. So I like what they've been doing on offense. They've been using a lot of different guys. It's really hard to predict fantasy wise. Who's going to have a good day, but I would predict that Bo Nix is going to have a good day. He's been great. Really excited about that. It seems like the Broncos got their guy. They got the right guy to go with Sean Payton.
And I think you're probably right about a lot of that, but I think they're going to run into a little bit of a buzzsaw today. Denver is still good. That defense is amazing. But I think the offense might get exposed a little bit in Baltimore today against that Baltimore D. It's not fantastic.
The Baltimore, they just got lit up by the Browns. Just saying.
Again, divisional games are weird.
But it was Jameis Winston off the bench.
And Jameis Winston, you know how he is.
Yeah.
He is either amazing or, oh my God, awful.
And Kyle Hamilton, the Baltimore defense cost them that game because Kyle Hamilton catches that
but I think it's
interception.
the Baltimore offense is what's really going to be the thing today. And so Denver is going to be trying to play catch-up ball, and they're just not going to be able to do it.
Man.
I think
I don't know.
They got another piece in that offense in Baltimore, and
I'm not that excited about him.
I see what you're saying because of that, what kind of offense that is. But man, if they get a reliable passing game behind, and then they've got Derrick Henry doing what Derrick Henry does,
with the Ravens, if they get a reliable passing game.
But now you've got Zay Flowers, Deontay Johnson, and you've got the tight ends and Bateman. Like he's got so many weapons now.
I agree.
That I think he's got to be able. Let's see him make him work against a really good D, and I think that's what we're going to see today. But honestly, I hope we don't. I hope you're right. I'd love to see Denver beat them. That would be so great.
This would be a big win for them.
It would be a signature win. It would
exactly
really
this and
let
and
people know that they're
feels
here.
like it's trending in that way, and when you hear Sean Payton talking, there's a different tone in his voice. Like there's like an expectation, that they're going to play at a certain level, and it kind of feels like they have a lot of tools. We're just not talking about them in the same light that we're talking about all these guys from Baltimore.
So you're going Ravens then?
Yes, please.
Okay. So next up, we got the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Raiders are +8. Over-unders at 45. +320 if you're betting on the Raiders. -410 if you're betting on the Bengals. Let's see. 13. Bengals lead 13 wins to the Raiders. That doesn't make sense. I'm just going to skip that. Their most recent was in 2021.
Did you see Macaulay Culkin dressed up as Joe Burrow for Halloween?
No.
And recreated some of his like he did some photo shoot or something like that, and so Macaulay Culkin recreated the photos wearing.
Nice.
It was really fucking funny.
All the creative things you can do when you're rich. I love it.
Yeah. People have been giving Joe Burrow a bunch of crap and saying he looks like Macaulay Culkin. So yeah, it's funny. It was.
Yeah, I guess he kind of does.
I thought it was good comedic timing from
Nice.
Mr. Culkin.
Speaking of comedic timing, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go into politics.
That's funny. They have been funny this cycle.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's been adorable, kind of. Speaking of adorable, look at those Raiders. They still get dressed up every Sunday like they.
So when do people start getting fired, man? Wow, they're bad.
They're so bad. Like,
I think they're doing what they're designed to do.
at what
though.
point does Tom Brady accidentally let us slip on, while he's broadcasting about how bad the Raiders are and how annoying it is to him or something like that? I'm going to say
part of him or
I'm going to say week
Oh yeah, that's
13.
fair about that.
That's,
I read something like that. I was like, "Huh?"
yeah, he is a minority owner now. So there's a
Yeah.
bunch of things. It actually it restricts him in a bunch of ways in his
I would
current
imagine
job
it does, yeah.
because he's not able to attend practices anymore or go to like pre-production meetings that are because they're like in facility and stuff like that. Yeah, there's limitations on him now for his job for sure. So
But going back to the Raiders, like, don't you think the Raiders are doing what they're designed to do right now? At the beginning of this season, you looked at this roster and it's freaking bad.
Well, you have to
At
preface
no
that
point
with-
did you
what
think
was
this
their plan?
Their plan is to get
Was
the
it to
first
lose?
pick.
Then
Okay.
why did
They want the first pick next year.
then
So they're
why did-
designed
so
to get the
why
first pick? Is that what you're saying?
didn't-
Okay.
So couldn't they have gotten more for Devontae Adams at like draft season? Couldn't they have traded him in April and got more than what they got from
With
the
that
Jets?
contract, I don't know.
Because like that's the time.
But no, but
So
see,
the
but they
reason I
have to
say
sell
that is
season
because-
tickets too.
Huh?
They have to sell season tickets
Oh,
too.
yeah, that's true.
So if they sell off Devontae before the season starts, then you know they're tanking. And now all the tickets go, for dirt cheap.
Poor fans.
They just got
I'm
played
just saying
by the
what I
Billionaires
see,
game.
man.
That's
this
what
is
Brian
I see.
said. Brian said the Raiders fans just got played.
By the Billionaires game. Remember, it's a bunch of billionaires
And they're
playing
about
a
to get
game. We
played
were just
today,
watching.
too, because Macaulay Culkin about to whoop that ass. He's about to-
So we all going? Is it safe to say we're all going Cincy?
Yeah, we're all going Cincy. I'd love to see him lose again, but still.
They won't, not today.
Nah.
Even without T. Higgins. Start Mike Gesicki.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's a good one to bring up.
Yeah.
So next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys versus the Atlanta Falcons. Dallas Cowboys are +3. Over/unders 52. +140 if you're betting on the Cowboys. -166 if you're betting on the Falcons. This game is going to be played in Georgia. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the Cowboys lead the all-time series with 19 wins to 11 wins. And their most recent time they played was November 14th in 2021. Dallas won that game.
It was a wild game.
43-3.
We lost. We were down by like 20 in that game. Came back and won. It was crazy.
So this, it feels like the Cowboys are floundering a bit, and it feels like Atlanta's kind of pulling things together. Atlanta's at home. I will say, you never know what Dallas is going to do, and they might just pop up and dominate Atlanta today out of nowhere. But that's not my expectation. I do expect a really nice fantasy game here, though. I expect lots of fantasy points,
Yeah, that's good to hear.
and you should be trying to start pieces on both sides,
Yep.
for sure. And in your DraftKings lineups, like this is one of those games you should be targeting.
I actually got
this-
Lamb and Kamara. in
This is one, and when you do it, you want to try and get some of the more obscure pieces so that you can be
Be a little different, especially for
Yeah.
the tournaments. You don't have to worry about
yes,
that in
exactly.
cash as much. But
Not in heads
tournaments,
up,
yeah.
but in tournaments you want to be contrarian in order to get the highest score possible.
Agreed.
So, can you look up if Dak and Kirk Cousins have ever played each other? Because I'm pretty sure that miraculously they've never played against each other before.
That seems improbable, but
Right. I'm pretty sure one of them has been hurt every
Every
time
time.
their teams have gotten together.
that's crazy.
I'm looking it up right now.
I know.
But this is like dueling Spider-Mans. Like, remember, this is why Amari Cooper isn't in Dallas anymore, is because he called Dak the Black Kirk Cousins.
So what I'm getting is as of November 3rd, 2024, Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins have not faced each other in an NFL game.
Ever.
Prescott, the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and Cousins, who has played for the Washington Commanders and Minnesota Vikings, have been in the league since 2016 and 2012 respectively. Their teams have not met during the regular season or playoffs in a way that would have them compete directly against each other.
Yeah, they've met, but they weren't. The players weren't available.
Nuts. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
So who do you think pulls it off today? You confident with your Dak pick here?
Did I pick Dak?
Yeah, I'm just assuming.
For me, it's like, is the Falcons going to give them a fit? I don't know.
I don't want. I'm so mad at them right now. I don't want to pick them.
What'd you say, Ray? I didn't hear you.
I think to me it boils down to giving fits, and for the Cowboys anyway. And I don't think the Falcons are going to give them like such a fit.
Well, the
that they're going
Falcons
to blow the game.
do exactly what the Cowboys are very scared of, and that's run the football. Like they're able to run the football. They have multiple running backs that can
Okay.
run, that the Cowboys are going to struggle to tackle. That's their biggest problem is that the Cowboys don't tackle.
So I should clarify what I mean by throwing giving them a fit would be like them scoring and them just preventing them from being able to score and thus giving them like these little fits. Like, man, we couldn't go down. We couldn't drive the ball. Like we couldn't do that. Like it's giving them a little bit of a fit.
Now I see where you're going, and like the Cowboys can do that to themselves.
Yeah.
Like the Falcons don't have to be giving them fits. The Cowboys offense can go out and give themselves fits. Like they're very proficient in that. That is the one thing that they're good at this season. I was so excited when they played the Steelers because they committed to the run game. They didn't have a spectacular day, but they ran the ball like 30 plus times in that game and controlled the clock. They moved the ball, they moved the chains, and were successful in that game. Despite turning the ball over, I think you guys won the turnover battle by 3 in that game.
It is something dumb, yeah.
And I was like, okay, we can win this way. This is a recipe for for success. Is like he doesn't have to be like in Jahmyr Gibbs or Breece Hall or Bijan Robinson or Kyron. Like we can do this as long as he can carry the ball 20 times a game. We know that we can do that. He hasn't done it since. They haven't done it since, and so I don't know what the identity of the offense is. It doesn't look like they have one. Like we're throwing go routes to Kavonte Turpin. Dude's fucking 5'8", 165 or something like that. That is not that's not a game plan.
So we can't hear the question soundbite. We got a question: Dak Prescott or Trevor Lawrence?
Dak.
Yeah. This is going to be an offensive game.
Yeah.
So Trevor Lawrence, God knows what you're going to get. Plus, he's got all his
everything hurt. Everything's
his
hurt.
weapons are hurt.
Yeah, and they just traded an offensive lineman too. They traded Cam Robinson over to the Vikings. So yeah.
Oh God, poor Trevor. Yeah, no, don't start Trevor anytime soon.
I'm trying to let Trevor have a couple more bad games and then pick him up in Dynasty because Trevor Lawrence still looks like a good quarterback when you watch him play.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look like he's got a good plan.
Eventually things will come together for him.
I think so. I do think so.
So I got Cowboys. Ken's honor bound Cowboys. What do you got, Brian?
Not Cowboys. No, give me some Falcons there.
Dang.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
And quick question here. I just got a piece of fantasy news that I do not understand. Bengals rookie wide receiver Jermaine Burton is a healthy inactive today. The team will publicly address the okay. So we don't know what's happened here.
No.
The team will publicly address the situation after the game.
Oh no, kid, what'd you do?
Huh. So we haven't heard anything?
I haven't heard nothing.
I thought maybe so this is I'm assuming this is the first we're hearing about it, and so this is the breaking news that something happened. They'll address it after the game. Okay, I didn't understand. I thought I had missed something there, but I see what's going on. So we'll find out later.
So next up, we have the Saints versus Carolina Panthers. There they are. Saints are -7. The over/under is 43.5. Money line -345 if you're betting on the Saints, +275 if you're betting on the Panthers. Let's see. They're playing in North Carolina.
Yeah, and Carr is back, so that New Orleans offense should actually work again. It may not be amazing, but Carolina is probably going to make it look amazing. The Carolina defense is just god awful, and that team is just in a death spiral. And now they have what's his name, Bryce Young coming back in. I'm just like, oh man. This is not going to be good. You can actually start your New Orleans defense today if you wanted to, just because this is going to be a shit show. New Orleans is going to roll, and try not to start anybody from Carolina unless you have to. I mean, somebody like Chuba Hubbard is somebody that you can start, but not somebody that you want to start. I mean, just because he's going to get 16 touches, I mean. 54 yards doesn't really do it for you. So no, thank you.
Well, I'm still looking at Jermaine Burton news, and
this isn't a good game to cover anyway. We can move on.
No, this is a great game actually.
Really,
fantasy wise, are you kidding? Oh yeah.
Well, fantasy wise, yeah, you're right. People are going to go off. I'm just saying, like as a game, this feels like a huge blowout.
Oh no, I don't think so. I think it's going to be back and forth actually.
Saints and Carolina
Yeah,
Panthers?
the Saints defense has been awful, just awful.
What do you think?
Absolutely
What do you
awful.
think
Bryson?
what do you think the spread's going to be? What do you think the spread's going to be?
I think the Saints will win, but I think it'll be less than a touchdown.
What do you think? You think it'll be more than
I
a
think
touchdown?
double digit. Yeah, I think they're.
You're ready?
Oh,
willing to-
there seems like a hat bet. Like a hat bet in there.
What is the line? What's the line?
The line right now is -7. So
right.
he's saying yeah.
So do you want? Let's just take.
I'll take the points.
Yeah, just all right. Love it. All right, that's a good hat bet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I finally get to get rid of this thing. It's awesome.
I don't think you will. I think it's going to be close, actually.
Yeah?
I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
Wow. Okay.
I
So
do.
you think Bryce Young's going to make this offense go?
Yeah, against the Saints defense, yes. Yes, I do.
Okay.
It's one more week. You have one more week.
I mean, who's
of
ever lost money betting on
full-time-
Bryce Young?
Anybody? Anybody? One more full week of Chuba Hubbard is notable, and this should be a good one against the Saints. The Saints have been really soft against the run. And then I think Olave is going to have a monster game in this game, a monster day today. And then on the other side, though, they have a lot of young pieces. We were talking about this on the way over here, but I really like Jatavian Sanders. I really like Xavier Legette. Jalen Coker looks like he might be a player too. And they have other guys on the roster that were drafted higher than those guys. So, well, not Legette. Legette is essentially a first-round pick. Actually, I think he is a first-round pick.
Yeah,
Didn't
I think he's back of the first.
I think
yeah.
they traded up into
Up
the last
to get
pick.
like 31 or something. Yeah.
So I think that was a big part of why they moved on from Deontay Johnson is because they're ready to move on with these other pieces. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I do not think the Saints are very good.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We obviously have a difference of opinion, which is why we bet the hat on it. I love it. I like this bet. This is my favorite bet so far.
Next up, we got the Chargers versus the Browns. Chargers are -2. Over/under is 42.5. -130 if you're betting on the Chargers. +110 if you're betting on the Browns. They are playing in Ohio. Browns are home.
Which Jameis Winston do we get today? That's the question. It's a tough game to predict because of that. I think I'm going to take the LA side here because that defense is good, and I think a good defense is going to give Winston fits. I think he's going to commit. He's going to have plays, but then he's going to commit that horrible gaffe that pick six or whatever. But I'm going to go with the Chargers here today.
Excellent. I'm going to go with the Browns as I was enjoying my first cup of coffee this morning. I was watching Bill Belichick outlay some of the problems they have in pass protection, and I think the Browns are going to eat them up today in that fashion. And with an offense that actually attacks downfield, I think they're going to be able to score points. Nick Chubb is getting healthier. I think he's going to have his best game so far. Or I think we're going to get a Nick Chubb 100-yard game today.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask how good because that's a bold prediction there because it feels like they're bringing him along slowly. Like we forget how badly that knee was damaged. Like it was beyond all belief. Like
he
the
seems
fact
ready
that
to
he's
go,
back
though.
and playing is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
But
it's I got to when I was watching that game, they did a couple of replays. I'm talking about the Ravens-Browns game from last week. There was a couple of replays from the end zone, and you can appreciate from the end zone cam just how good he really is, and it's all there. And I can't wait to see him get like 25 touches because it's coming.
all right.
And then Cedric Tillman, baby, my boy.
Still excited about him?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
He was the guy that Jameis was looking for when he would get in trouble. That was it like multiple times, and it's fun because like you're watching, and you're always like, "Come on, throw it to my guy, throw it to my guy, throw it to my guy." And every time Jameis would get in trouble and scramble a little bit, that's who he would look for. He was looking for Tillman. So I think that's going to be his like security blanket kind of. And Jameis does that. He forces balls to guys like Mike Evans, probably gives Jameis a really nice Christmas present every year for all the target peppering he did early in his career. But yeah, I think we're gonna get like another surge from the Browns like we got last year. You know, only they're a little better this time. They're not really like a mash unit. They just needed a quarterback to step in and actually propel the offense. And I don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson because we all know that he had, you know, a supreme level of talent. There seems to be like whatever's going on in his personal life has put a wall between him and his talent. Hopefully he gets that sorted out in some way. But this is what we expected this Browns team to look like.
Right.
Like we expected them to be able to compete with the Ravens when we started the season. And so, yeah, I expect them to win this game. We don't expect the Chargers to be very good, and they're not. They have limited weapons. They have they're
grinded out team.
Right
They're
now.
grinded out team. Make mistakes.
With a guy.
Winston makes mistakes. So that's
He
so
does.
I'm just going on that, and I can totally see. This is a hard one for me to pick. This isn't like one I want to bet on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is a tough pick for me. But you know, I think we're reminded of why Jameis Winston's a backup today.
I don't think that's going to happen today.
Okay.
I think that'll happen at some point, but I think it'll
But not
be
today.
with more on the line.
Fair enough.
Okay, so next game we have, so I got me and Brian on the Chargers, and Ken, you and Bezzy are on the Browns, right?
Go Browns.
Okay. So next up, we got the New England Patriots versus the Tennessee Titans. Patriots are +3.5. Over/under is 38.5. +140 if you're betting on the Patriots. -166 if you're betting on the Titans. And this game is a home game for the Titans.
Start the defenses.
Right? I'm just
Really?
What do I want
I
to
mean,
do here?
I traded Titans for Chargers, I think, this week. Like as far as my
those are
DraftKings.
both good starts.
The
Those are both
Patriots
really
don't
good
have
starts.
Drake May, and Jacoby Brissett is, you know, it's
a solid backup.
another dueling Spider-Man game. You know, if it had been Mason Rudolph, I think Will Levis is going to play today, so it's not.
Oh, really? I thought it was Rudolph.
Let me double check.
Yeah, double check that. I really thought it was Rudolph. He's been playing better than Levis. It seems like.
Levis is out.
Yeah. Okay, so Rudolph.
So yeah, so this is another dueling Spider-Man game for sure. Because neither of these quarterbacks have the ability to pilot an offense that scores 35 points more than once per season, it seems like.
Yeah, so, I mean, we got two backups going at it today. Not going to be fun to watch. Not going to be fun fantasy-wise. Don't want to really start anything in this game that's popping off. Is there anybody we want to start in this game? Nobody.
I would. So both of the Titans running backs
Maybe
are down. I'm not sure if either. Can we check that real quick?
What's that?
Pollard and Spears is out already. Check Pollard. I don't think Pollard's going to play either. So you can start Chestnut. If you need a running back, you can go to the waiver wire right now and you can pick up Chestnut from for the Titans. And start him. I think he already got picked up in our league. I'm pretty sure Butt Pirate picked him up.
He's calmed down and trade offers.
Tony Pollard is active, so Pollard is out.
Okay,
there.
all right, cool. So that's at least one arrow in the arsenal for Mason Rudolph, but he doesn't have much else other than that. So yeah, I'm going to pick the Patriots in this game.
That's where I was going.
I don't know how you pick the Titans. They could win, I suppose, but Jacoby Brissett plays. That's one thing about him is he plays more mistake-free football than Mason Rudolph does.
Yeah.
And so I expect the Patriots to win this game by 13-9 or something.
So it's almost 9:30. Do we want to do our DraftKings picks before we go into the afternoon games? We just
good.
finished all the morning games.
DraftKings. We're supposed to do DraftKings? How'd we do last week?
Last week, Ken
had his best
I
week.
scored 121.36. Brian scored 117.54, and Ken punted the game. No, I'm just kidding. Ken got 162.54, which is the highest this season. I don't know past seasons, but it's the highest this season
Oh, for anybody?
for any of us. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a good score.
Season
It was a good
high.
score.
All right.
Season
I'll take
high.
it.
Yeah.
It's funny because I remember us having a bunch of overlap last week, but yet you went to 160 and I went to 117 or whatever. So whatever we didn't overlap on, obviously you chose correctly.
That's why you wear the hat, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, I earned it this week.
That was fun. Let me see. I think it is this one. There we go. All right. So I guess I'll lead us off then.
Sure.
With the low lineup for this week. Here we go. At quarterback, Jalen Hurts, 7,800 at home against Jacksonville, who's obviously packing it in.
Right.
So I think we're just like in the middle of one of those Jalen Hurts, comet streaks where he just goes nuclear for a while.
Right on.
It really feels that way. At running back, 7,400, Bijan Robinson against my poor non-tackling Cowboys, who are going to be without Micah Parsons again today. No Deron Bland, even though he's been activated. And I don't think Trayvon Diggs is going to play either. That's another part of this game.
Yikes.
Yeah. It's rough. It is rough. If we're
Start
going to
your
win today,
offensive
we're going to
pieces.
have to win like 41-38. My other running back is Kyron Williams against Seattle. There was, when I built the lineup, it was still iffy as to whether or not Puka was going to play.
Right.
But I don't think that really makes too much of a difference for me. Kyron Williams has just been awesome. I think he scored in like 10 straight games or something like that. It's crazy. At receiver, I get to save a little bit of money because the guys that I like are cheaper this week. 6,100, I've got Chris Olave.
Okay.
At 5,600, I've got Lad McConkey. And at 4,300, I'm going to play him until he's too expensive, and that's Cedric Tillman.
I knew you would.
There's just he's getting too many targets.
Yeah.
Like for 4,300, you tell me my guy is going to get 8 to 10 targets, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Oh, for sure. He's definitely in my consideration.
And then I've mentioned this guy a couple of times already, but I like Jatavian Sanders at 2,900. I think this is like New Orleans has been bad for years against tight ends, and I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. So I think he has an opportunity to score. And then my flex is Jalen Tolbert at 5,100 in the Dallas-Atlanta game.
Speaking of those go routes, huh?
Right, exactly. But you know what? He's been efficient with
Yeah.
his targets. He's been really good. And they're gonna have to score today. And then I am going to play the Rams defense against Seattle for 2,800. The Seahawks are without DK Metcalf today, so they are without their fangs.
All right. Ray, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I got Matthew Stafford as my quarterback for 5,700. I'm hoping he's still priced low with those receivers coming back into action. I got Cincinnati's Brown for the running back, Kamara for running back. I'm hoping the Cowboys show up with Lamb.
Oh, yeah.
He's my high-priced player on my roster this week. And then I got London and Atlanta, Olave and New Orleans. I've got, to save some money, I picked Barner at Seattle for tight end. And
How much is he?
2,600.
Okay.
And the Cincinnati tight end, Gesicki, for
Gesicki?
3,100.
Yeah.
For 3,100.
Yeah,
And
he's
then-
one of those free squares this week.
And then Chargers defense for 3,300.
Yeah, I like the Chargers D. I definitely wanted to fit him in, but that is not the route I took. I went some studs and scrubs here, and that's normally not what you want to do in cash, but some of these scrubs, they just don't have to do that much.
Derek
And
Carr?
so, lower, sir.
You went Jameis?
Lower, sir.
Are you starting Mason Rudolph?
Lower, sir.
No way. Hold on. Who else is starting today? You got me.
His price at quarterback is 4,500.
It's a backup, huh?
He started at the beginning of the year.
Oh, did he?
Gardner Minshew.
Oh, you're lucky the hat's not based on this.
You're just trying to
Gardner
get
Minshew.
15 points or something out of him?
All he needs is 12.
Okay.
If I get 12 points, and he cannot get benched because O'Connell's hurt. So he's going to be in the whole game. They're going to be losing. They're going to have to throw the ball, and all I need is 12 points out of this guy.
That's
and if he happens to get 20, fantastic. You know what I mean?
I like it.
Yeah. So not
How much was he
normally
again?
my cash pick, but what's up?
How much was he again?
4,500, which is just dirt cheap.
Less than his tight end.
Not true. Gesicki is 31.
No. I mean less than.
Oh, then Minshew's tight end. I got you. Bowers, yeah. So anyway, that is my my grossness there. The stack with Jacoby Myers, because Jacoby Myers is just cheap at 5,300. But it allows me to spend up, so I get some nice running backs here. I get Devon Achane at a bargain for 6,700. Buffalo is a good defense, but not so much against the run. And man, when Achane has a lane, he is so good. Ken Walker is amazing. He's been really good this season. He's been getting more catches out of the backfield. He's super solid. He's 7,300. I wanted that to be Bijan, but Bijan is 74, and I just couldn't get the extra $100. CD Lamb is my main receiver because I mean he's expected that should be a great offensive game there. And in the same game, I went with some savings with Ray McLeod. I think that there's going to be lots of offense going around, and hopefully McLeod can get enough to, again, a guy that I need to get 10 to 12 points, and I'll be very, very happy. So it doesn't take much. We already talked about Myers and Gesicki. Oh, and then my flex, I just have one of the best starts on the slate with Saquon Barkley. So I did have some savings, but man, I put some true studs in there, and hopefully it's going to pay off for me. And defense, again, that's one of the savings. I went with a stone minimum, 2,300 for the New York Giants. The Giants are a defense that can put points on the fantasy board, and like I say, they're at home against a divisional opponent. For the stone min, I think that's too cheap, so might get some points out of that.
Nice.
All right. And then, do we have a tournament lineup, or?
I do. I made one. So, all right. For my tournament lineup, we're going to be stacking from the Saints and Panthers game.
Okay.
And so I've got Derek Carr at 5,600. In my running back position, I've got Alvin Kamara at 7,800. DeAndre Swift at 6,400. My receivers are Xavier Legette at 5,300, Chris Olave at 6,100, and Malik Neighbors at 7,500. My tight end is Zach Ertz at 4,300. My flex is Jalen Coker to finish my stack in Panthers and Saints at 3,600, and then I'm playing the Commanders defense against New York.
Okay. And mine is actually a little similar to the cash because I do want to stack Minshew again. I just that 4,500 price tag is just too much to resist. So this time I stacked him with Bowers. Got away from Gesicki there to get some leverage on the field. I'm going with Cincinnati's Chad Brown? I think it's Chad Brown. Anyway, Bijan Robinson, I fit him in this time. Tyreek Hill, 7,300. He's gonna go off at some point. If it's today, it's gonna be awesome. CD Lamb, I can't get away from him. Ray McLeod is great savings, and because I went so high on the other guys, I have to go for another savings guy, which is Coker. Again, 3,600. He doesn't have to do too much. And then my DST, I went with the Broncos. I think I can get a little leverage on the field, and that Broncos D, you just never know when it's going to go off.
So I originally had Brian Robinson and the Commanders defense in this one, so I actually just swapped that out right now because I do think the Giants are going to win this game, and Brian Robinson not playing is one of those factors. Yeah, because it just changes the dynamic of their offense.
It does.
So we're going to swap that out. We're going to go Patriots D at 3K, and then I'm going to go Achane at 6,700 instead of Swift.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So on to the afternoon games, where our first game is Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Jacksonville's plus 7.5. Over under is 46. Plus 260 if you're betting on the Jags. Minus 325 if you're betting on the Eagles. They are playing in Philadelphia today.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about here, right? I mean, you just Eagles are going to roll here. You already talked about Hurts having a massive game.
I mean,
Start your pieces.
I don't own Brian Thomas in Dynasty. Like I think I might have been able to get him in one league, and I took Adonai Mitchell instead. And right now that seems bad.
Yeah.
But I like Adonai Mitchell a lot. But if I did have him in Dynasty, I would be hoping that he was not playing.
Agreed. I'm just like, keep him out.
Just
keep
sit
him out.
Sit him. Like,
Completely agree. Yeah, it seems he's still a game time decision. He could play, but honestly, if I'm
based on what they're doing right now,
why? Yeah, sit him out, please.
They just
Keep that young man
like I said,
healthy.
they
He's too
traded
good.
an offensive lineman. They lost Christian Kirk for the season. Both of their running backs are hurt.
Yeah.
Do we have an update on their running back situation? Do we know if one or both of them are going to be out?
I will look it up right now.
I still see Bigsby as questionable.
Oh, it's the afternoon game, huh?
Bigsby is expected.
We're not going to get the.
Bigsby is expected to play.
Okay.
So
Let me
do we
look up
see?
ETN expected to play as well.
Okay, so then I would not want any part of any
Yeah.
any Jaguars player other than Evan Ingram.
Yeah,
You can-
Ingram, you can definitely start.
Yeah, you can start Evan Ingram, and that's about it. But
Yep.
I expect the Eagles to roll in this game.
Absolutely.
The Eagles have a tight end you can start if you're looking for like a cheap DFS play.
Oh, who is it?
Cal Katara or something like that. Let me look
Don't
him
do
up
it, people. Don't
real
do it.
quick. He's projected for like 9.5 points or something like
Really?
that. Yeah, and he's got like 12 catches on the year for 180 something yards. So
Because nobody expects him to get the ball, you know?
I mean, to be flat out honest with you, I haven't seen very much of him. Excuse me. But I know I'm starting him in one of my dynasty leagues this week because, or I was going to. Actually, I think I had to start him somewhere. We'll come back to that. Go ahead.
Got to be desperate, people.
So next up, we got the Bears versus the Cardinals. I mean, we all went Eagles, I'm assuming. So next up, we have Bears versus the Cardinals.
I did get it right.
Bears are plus 1.5. Over under is 45. Plus 100 if you're betting on the Bears. Minus 120 if you're betting on the Cardinals. This game is played in Arizona today.
And that's why I'm going to take Arizona. I think Arizona's been playing better. I mean, they're leading their division.
They are in first place.
They are in first place.
It's tough to bet against a first place team in November at home.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, when you put all of those things together, it makes Arizona sound really good.
But I do like Arizona here. But because I don't think that the Bears, they've been putting wins together, but man, they have not looked good doing it.
Well, they lost. I think they're going to be motivated after last week.
Yeah.
And
but even last week they didn't look that great. You know, there's a lot. I don't know. They're not playing mistake-free ball. That's for sure.
No, I agree.
I think it's going to catch up with them. I think that Arizona's going to take it.
It's so funny. This will be the third time I've said this today, but here's another dueling Spider-Man game with the quarterbacks. You know, because they both of them play off-scripted football a lot. Like Caleb Williams being a rookie is very much one read and get me the hell out of here. And Kyler Murray has always been that way. He's just not changed at all. He's not. I have not even when he's successful. Kyler Murray is not a guy who seems to be able to stand back in the pocket and go, read the field and make a decision, or read the field and make a decision that's over here. Based on what he saw over here. He still is at a point where he needs to to scramble. It seems like to feel comfortable, and so I think that they're like for as long as Kyler Murray is the quarterback, it's going to be difficult to pick the Cardinals to just like win.
True, but
week after
also
week
right
after
now,
week. And they won 2 in a row already, so they're due
so they're
for a
due
loss.
That offense though really runs through James Conner, and like he's.
I agree.
Like he is the centerpiece of that offense, and I think he's going to show it today. I expect a good day from him today, and that's why the Cardinals win.
And I think we're going to get a good Caleb Williams day, and that's why the Bears will win.
All right.
I hope Ken's right. I'm going Arizona Cardinals though, but I need the Cardinals to lose.
I get the lone wolf on the Bears
Yes, you
and
do.
Caleb Williams,
Yes, you
who
do.
I'm starting in like every league.
Got a lot invested. I like
I
it.
do.
So next up, we got the Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. -2.5, which I think is kind of small. 47.5 is the over/under, and -155 if you're betting on the Lions, +130 if you are betting on the Packers. This game is played in Green Bay today, with Packers leading the all-time series 106-76 and 7 ties.
All right.
There you go.
So I'm going to take the under,
More of a defensive game on this one, you think?
and I'm going to pick the Packers to win this game. It's raining.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
and
still
also
going to
the-
take Detroit, but man, I can see it. Like,
This is their first game outdoors this season.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw this this other thing. It was since the merger, this is like the third longest consecutive stretch for a team to start the season without playing outdoors. The Falcons they didn't play outdoors until week 11 in 2019, and then there was like a Saints team that didn't play until week 8 or week 9 or something like that. But yeah, we're in week 9, right? This is 9, 8.
This is 9.
This is 9. Yeah, we're in week 9, and this is their first outdoor game. So, and it's in Green Bay, where they traditionally don't play well. And Jared Goff is a different quarterback in the elements, and when he's under pressure, and I think he's going to be under pressure today, because you have just when the field is not perfect, there's just a lot more chaos, and I don't think that.
But I think they're going to rely heavily on that running game today. You know what I mean? And
They do that
have
all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Montgomery and Gibbs are just like the best 1-2 punch in football right now, as far as the ground game goes.
Sonic Knuckles.
There you go. I forgot about that. But I mean, they're just amazing, and I can absolutely see a slower defensive game here. But I think Detroit pulls it out. They're just that good this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Packers are 6-2.
They're
So
I know. But you got to admit, Detroit's looked more impressive.
Well, the Packers have also had to play without their quarterback for a month.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
I like Green Bay at home. I think
I can't blame you for it. It's a tight one.
Yeah, and I still feel like the Detroit Lions are the most complete team in football right now, so
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that. Next up, the LA Rams versus Seattle Seahawks. The Rams are -1, over-under is 48. -118 if you're betting on the Rams, -102 if you're betting on the Seahawks. And I actually didn't look up any information on this one.
I actually think this is going to be a lower scoring game too.
No, I need points.
I do like the Rams here, though.
I like the
will
Rams
take
as well.
The Rams.
Yeah.
I think they're coming together, and honestly, I'm really rooting for them at this point. You know what I mean? I want to see them pull that season, turn that season around. You know what I mean? That's cool. And like I said, we predicted at the beginning that they were going to be a good team in the mix. You know what I mean? It's like
A high scoring team.
I still think
like
so.
A fun
Yeah.
team that's fun to watch every week, and we still might get that.
Yeah, I think we will.
And the only thing is that I just don't think it starts this week because the Seahawks are missing their biggest weapon. So I think if the Seahawks are going to be successful today, they're going to have to get. I think this could be like a Zach Charbonnet game because I think they're going to have to do it on the ground. They're going to have to do it.
Why Charbonnet?
Because I think they're going to have to do it with their running backs.
But Ken Walker's been getting
Ken Walker too.
all the carries.
I'm saying rather than say DK's out, Noah Fant is also out. Tight end, the tight end,
right?
And he's been collecting like 6 targets a game. So rather than those targets just going to like say JSN or Tyler Lockett, who are now going to see more coverage because there's no DK, I think you're going to see more usage of like Zach Charbonnet today.
Well, I picked up Lockett thinking that he was going to get a lot of targets and plays with Metcalf out, I think, last week, and that just didn't happen.
Now that I'm thinking of it, like Charbonnet is a really good like tournament play on DFS.
I don't think so, man. I think it's going to be Ken Walker today. I really do.
I think it's going to be both.
I think that
two
they
things
really
can be
want.
true.
I hear what you're saying, but I think it's going to be more of a 70-30 timeshare, and so I don't see Charbonnet getting enough off 30% of the touches.
Just like pull these numbers out your butt without looking at like how much the players are actually playing.
No, but you look at because
That's
last
pretty
week
good at it.
Charbonnet got a lot more play, but it was because the game got out of hand and they wanted to protect
Charbonnet
their
plays
guy.
on average about 50% of the snaps. It's usually between 40 and 45. That's a large percentage, and they will put them both on the field at the same time, and that's all I'm saying is that they are. I mean, when you're down weapons, you got to use the best players you got. And I'm not saying Ken Walker is not going to get his. I expect him to have a great game. I do. I'm just saying I think Zach Charbonnet is going to be a startable guy today. I think that like anybody who has Zach Charbonnet in like a dynasty league or something like that who doesn't start him today is going to wish that they had.
All right,
That's
all
all.
right.
That's all I'm saying.
If we didn't have a hat bet already, we'd find one there.
I just want to point out that of our two fantasy gurus over here,
He's got 5 touchdowns this year. Just saying, 5.
that Ken and Brian's average on fantasy this year are a difference of a point and 1.3 points on average. So like both your methodologies work out there. So for the viewers out there listening, just play to your strengths and see which one of these individuals will help you play to your strengths and making your
It's a nice thing about listening to multiple opinions that are fairly well informed, because then you get to listen to differences of opinion and make your own.
And just so everybody knows, Charbonnet already has 5 games this year where he's got 4+ targets, and he's the second option.
I know.
So-
There's some circumstances in some of those games as well.
We do have a question.
Only
right.
2 of them Walker didn't play. There were 2 of them, and the 2 where Walker didn't play, he scored 18 and 26 points.
And last week they pulled Walker early because they wanted to protect him because the game got out of hand. But anyway, let's get the question. Yeah.
Charbonnet or Rico Dowdle?
Ooh, that's a
Oh.
good one. That's a good one.
Wow.
I would play Dowdle because there's no Zeke today. But it wouldn't surprise me if you just if you were frustrated with Dowdle because they gave just as much work to Dalvin Cook. And I'm like, as a Cowboys fan, I don't want to be betting on Cowboys players right now other than CeeDee Lamb.
Jeez, that's a tough one, man. that's
It
a
is
tough
tough.
one to pick between those
Like,
two. I just talked all this
so
crap about Charbonnet, and
here's
then I'm
the
like,
thing.
ooh, would I start him over
So
Dowdle?
I think Brian would probably agree with me here. Floor play, Dowdle.
Yes.
Ceiling play,
Charbonnet. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay,
So
so
like if you need to just be consistent, like you feel like if you just scored the points that you're projected to score, that you will win, then play Dowdle. But if you feel like you're behind and you need a big play, like you're not going to hurt yourself by playing Charbonnet over
Agreed.
Dowdle, and I think you give yourself a puncher's chance at like 25 today.
All right.
okay, so
He's
next
the guy that scores touchdowns. He has a game this year with multiple touchdowns.
So next up, we have Tampa Bay, the Monday night game, right? Oh, no, the Vikings game, the evening game today. Colts versus the Vikings. And what we have for you is plus 5.5 on the Colts. Over-unders at 47, plus 185 if you're betting on the Colts, minus 238 if you're betting on the Vikings. I haven't been on it, and I haven't looked up any stats on these guys either.
I think the Vikings are going to get back on track today.
It certainly seems so, but man, I don't want to bet against Joe Flacco. He's like the best quarterback in the NFL. This guy, like his comeback story, the way he plays when he gets in there is just amazing. And so now that Joe Flacco's been named the starter, I just gotta expect big things from him. Definitely increases the value of all the receivers on the Indy side. So now all of a sudden Josh Downs is a must play.
Josh Downs was a must play regardless because he's been, unlike Pittman, has been immune to which quarterback is playing and is just playing excellent football. I have been trying so hard to pick him up in the leagues and Dynasty where I don't have him already, and it's half and half. I think I have him in half the leagues, but now is the time.
He's at
and you
peak
might have missed the
value
window.
right now.
Yeah, you might. Well, I don't think it's peak value actually. I think it's going to go up.
This year, I'm saying this year is going to be great for him. Like,
yes, the rest of the season is going to be great. But I'm sorry, that was
long
just a
as
little
Flacco
dynasty
stays-
thing.
yeah.
But I don't think it matters. I think Josh Downs, if you had an opportunity to trade for him, you should have done it. Like, it's too late now. The people that have him now, there's no way they're giving him up. Hope you enjoy Wandale Robinson over there, Cam.
That's funny because Cam loves Downs too. I remember him talking about Downs last year.
He traded me Downs for Wandale, and I think it was just straight up. I think that was the only part of the deal was Wandale for Downs. Yeah, start him. Start Downs. In this game, I'm excited to hopefully see some more Adonai Mitchell. That's what I've been looking for. Is their offense just hasn't stayed on the field enough for him to get enough work, but they're still manufacturing touches for him. So I'm hoping that just like with a little more time on the field, more scoring opportunities, like we'll see some more out of him. Because I am still a huge believer in Adonai Mitchell.
Well, now we have better quarterback play, so now we can actually figure things out as far as that goes. What can these receivers do? We would have never known before. So, I'm going to pick Minnesota because I think that my head says they are the better team. They should win. But man, my heart is like, oh, Flacco. Like, how can you bet against Flacco?
Was it last year these two teams got together and had the greatest comeback of all time?
I don't remember.
Was that just last year, or was it the year before last year? What? Can you Google that real quick, Ray?
What am I googling?
Greatest comeback, largest comeback in NFL history.
These two teams who was their quarterback last year? What are we seeing?
It was January 9, 2022. So during the 2021 season. Wow, I'm old. Like all the years just blend together now. The Vikings were down 33-0 at halftime and came back to win that game 39-36.
Fun stuff.
So
all right, so Vikings, Ray, what do you think?
I'm going Vikings on this one.
Yeah.
We are in line on this one,
Yeah.
which we have not been very much today.
This will be the first matchup between head coaches too. So yeah. So next game we have. Let me find it. Let me see. I know what the next game is. I just want to bring up the details. Okay. All right. Here we go. So next game. So we all went Vikings. Did we all go Vikings?
Yes.
Okay, let me get that in there real quick. It is Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the Monday night game versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Tampa Bay's +9, over-unders 46, +350 if you're betting on the money line for the Bucs, -455 if you're betting on the Chiefs. This game is going to be played in, I believe, Missouri. Yep, Missouri. Let's see, and this will also be the first matchup between Todd Bowles and Andy Reid as head coaches.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you got to like Kansas City here. They're undefeated. They're at home. I'm definitely taking KC. You've got the weapons missing for Laser Mayfield there on the other side, so it's going to be tough sledding for Tampa Bay. But I think they might keep it close and keep it interesting.
You don't think it's going to be that 9-point deficit?
If you forced me to bet on this game, I'd probably take the spread there. Yeah, I'd take the points and Tampa, even though I think Kansas City's going to win the game. Kansas City hasn't been blowing anybody out. They've been relying on their defense to strangle people at the end. So, I'd take Kansas City in a fairly close one. Probably more or less defensive game. I wouldn't take the over.
What's the over-under? I'm sorry?
46.
46. I actually would take the overs. I still think the Buccaneers are going to score points.
Really? On that Kansas City defense? Mm-hmm. All right. Who's doing the scoring? Cotton?
You know it. I like the weapons that Tampa Bay has still. Like they've done well in drafting positional players. I brought up Raheem Jarrett last week. And I'm kind of like doing this like every week right now. It feels like bringing up this obscure like youngster who hasn't done anything yet because of an injury. And he only played, I think, 20% of the snaps last week. Had 3 targets, 3 catches for 58 yards. So like the kid can play, and he's the guy that they're going to use to attack down the field. I feel like. So I'm interested to see. I want to see more of him in this game. Everybody is talking about Jalen McMillan, and I think that he's going to be like the primary target earner, but I think that these other guys, Palmer and Raheem Jarrett, are going to have valuable targets. And the Buccaneers defense has not played very well at all. They're going to have to score points every week. So I think these are guys that people should be watching. They could be helpful to your team.
I mean, yeah, they're people you should be watching for a possible start.
One of them is going to be
like
one of them is going to be a
start.
starter.
Right.
And excuse me, I mean fantasy wise.
Oh,
One of these
like
three
an
guys.
every week starter?
Uh-huh. I
An
think so.
every week starter?
I think so. Yeah, I really think
that
so.
seems a little unlikely, but I don't know. We'll see.
I have faith in Mayfield.
All right. Yes, you do. And it's been well placed so far this season. He's played great.
He's been playing really good football.
So you
So
taking Tampa Bay then?
I'm not. They're in Kansas City.
I love how he
not-
does that.
They're
Makes a good argument. And
it's-
he's like, nah.
I think it's gonna be competitive.
Yeah, and I said that too, but
Well,
I
yeah,
think I think it's going to be more defensive. You think there's going to be a little more offensive
Well,
action?
it might not be like 34-31 or something like that, but I think it's going to be like 27-20, 20. It's going to be close. So like 46, I don't think is
Yeah.
going to be enough because I think it's going to be 24-23, 27-23, something like that because the Chiefs.
We're not that far off then, because I'm thinking like 23-17 or something like that.
Yeah,
so.
I'm thinking both teams score 20 points.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my expectation in this game. But the Chiefs they always find a way.
Yes, they do, and they got that defense. Whew.
And last but not
And the refs. Sorry.
And no, it's fine. And last but not least, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens, which are set up to face off this Thursday at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. The Cincinnati Bengals are plus 5.5. The over/under is 50. Plus 200 is the money line on the Bengals, and the Ravens is minus 245. The head coach matchup history is Zach Taylor Bengals and John Harbaugh Ravens. This will be the 10th meeting between the Taylor and Harbaugh as head coaches. Harbaugh leads the series with a 6-3 record against Taylor. Their most recent matchup was on October 6th of this year, where the Ravens defeated 41-38.
All right, and sorry, before we get going on that, just real quick, Puka is a full go.
See, I
Just
said
came out.
I said they did that to us last week,
Yep.
and that's why I.
Puka is a full go.
That's why.
Kyle Pitts or Kate Otten?
This week, I think I'd go. Well, I'm saying Cotton, but what's the matchup like for Pitts? Like, is that a easy tight end matchup?
He's playing against the Cowboys.
Is that an easy tight
Did
end?
you not see what Kittle just did to them?
Okay. God, because Cotton's matchup is just so good. If Pitts has a really good matchup too, if they're bad against the tight end. No, Cotton's all they have. I'd still go Cotton.
I'm going to go with what you said. I made that switch right now. It's my other league. I really need to win.
Yeah, Cotton's all they have, man. He's guaranteed those targets where Pitts disappears sometimes. There's too many weapons that it could get bounced around in Atlanta. But, I mean, Cotton is guaranteed, 8 targets today? How could he get less?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and the only thing is like if, the Chiefs do have a good defensive coordinator. And if Spags is like, we're just not going to let you throw to him.
Right.
Like that could happen, I suppose. But I don't
But
think...
if you're double teaming Cotton, man, you're doing something wrong.
And that's the thing is about their receivers being talented is I don't think they will be able to. I agree with you. I think he will have a good game. I don't think they are league worst as fantasy statistics suggest they are. I think most of that is probably because of Isaiah Likely in week 1.
Right.
But yeah, Kate Otten is all they have. So he's going to be. I said that McMillan's going to be the primary target earner, of the receivers that are available.
Right.
He's going to be throwing a Cotton 10 times a game. So yeah, you're in a good spot in terms of Top Gun, dropping Kincaid.
Yeah.
I would have done that too.
I didn't want to, but I'm looking at it. I had 3 excellent tight ends, and it's just like I don't need 3.
Yeah, that's when I saw it. I was like, oh, he's got Hawkinson too. There's no reason to keep Kincaid.
Yeah.
Because you're going to speculate on one of those 2 guys for the rest of the season. I would rather speculate on Hawkinson.
Exactly, and there weren't any good trades out there for Kincaid because he hasn't been doing anything. And anyway, so and this game, I'm gonna go out on a limb and go over Cincinnati at home.
What?
Who knows? Divisional
And
game. These are two good teams. Could go either way.
I
I'll
do
take the home
love
team.
picking a team to lose twice before we come back and talk to people again. Let's do it.
All right,
You-
Ken's
you pick-
going Cincy.
I'm gonna pick Bengals too.
I got a lone wolf this week. Yay. So that's it, everyone. Go and watch your football. Good luck to all you, everybody.
Hurt today or something.
Happy football, people.
Good luck. Kill it.
See you busy.
Later, Bezzy. All right, so